Hi, this is Joanne Crooks, and I decided to evaluate this website about the Pacific Northwest tree octopus. The first thing that I would probably talk out loud to students about when I get here is, to stop and think, what do I already know about octopuses or octopi? The first thing that comes to mind is I don't think I've ever seen an octopus outside of a water environment. So for an octopus to be in a tree is going to make me be a bit skeptical right off the bat. The first thing that I really recommend for students and for myself now, is to go ahead and delete the URL all the way back to this first // and hit enter and see where that takes us. And that takes us to a very interesting site, Zapato Productions, which indicates to me Productions is going to be some sort of creation of maybe images that are not real. Serving the Paranoid since 1997 really gives me another indication that this is a rather strange site, and I'm not really sure whether all of this is any sort of accurate information, or is it just information that somebody's having some fun with. These pictures remind me of old movies that I watched as a child growing up, King Kong versus whomever they could think of at the time. Back to where we were on the octopus site. It's very pretty, it catches your attention. However, there's no information, no tab here at the top that says anything about us. Usually there's a tab about us or contact us, and there's nothing of the sort here. There are links to outside sources. However, this link for temperate rainforest takes you to Wikipedia, which just is talking about what a temperate rainforest is. And but Wikipedia itself is not the most reliable source for information, since people can go in and change and add information at will for themselves. As I scroll down through this, there's a nice little set of news information over here on the side with links, even the names of those. Again, notice it takes us back to this ZPI blog. So one of the things in the reading the resource this week says that if all the links take you back to something that's written by this one person, then how reliable is it necessarily going to be? So when I scroll down here all the way to the bottom on this first page, where is it? There we go. You have a sort of a disclaimer at the bottom, not associated with any school or educational organization. This Kelvinic University, I went and looked at that, and it's certainly not a university site. It's very bland. There's no pictures. This Wild Haggis Conservation Society took me to another teacher's link talking about education and evaluating websites and such. And again, down here in the right-hand corner, there's, it says address concerns to Lyle Zapato. So it's just one person. He has, sort of kept the site up to date. So it's not like he put it up in 1998 and hasn't done anything with it. But obviously, this is a hoax. If we go to sightings, that's rather interesting. The sightings, and it takes a little bit sometimes for these pages, I've noticed, to load. Great. So these pictures here, students take a look at them and think, oh my goodness, it really does have an octopus in its claws. But this hawk could have a snake in its claws that has been, with Photoshop and all sorts of digital software for photography, there's certainly easy ways to doctor up pictures. And I think that's important for students to recognize. I also think it's funny here about this money. Somewhere on this site, people were saying, okay, so maybe it's not real, but I still want to give money. And they were telling them to just go stand out in the middle of the forest in the Pacific Northwest and hold out a dollar bill, and eventually a Pacific Northwest tree octopus would come and take the money from you. So it was rather humorous to read through that. So most importantly, I would want to tell students that, you cannot believe everything you read, everything you see on the internet or in images. We're in a day and age when people can certainly doctor up pictures. They can write anything they want and get it published. And this has been a really good experience for me because I like the opportunity to learn how to sort of backtrack things. I use the Alta Vista to check the backlinks, and of course, all the links are to back to that Zapato organization, Zapato Productions. I also checked our school website to see if anybody else was linked to it. So I like that tool. I think that's a good tool for students to use and to be able to make decisions about the information that they're getting on a website. So this was a really valuable experience for me, not only in that, but also to learn how to do this screencast, because I've wanted to be able to create some videos for my students, say if I were going to be out one day or something. And so I like the option of being able to do something like this with the software that I have for the class.